Hey, sixth graders, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about using negative numbers in a context, okay? So to make sense of what they mean. So this first part is asking you to, let's get that on there. Notice and wonder, okay, comes and goes. So what it's asking you to do is, what do you notice about this problem and what do you wonder about it? So what it's saying is you do your chores, it's $30. You babysit your cousin, it's $45. You buy lunch, it's negative $10.80. Get your allowance, it's $15. You buy a shirt, it's negative $18.69. You pet your dog, it's $0. Okay, so it's asking you, what do you wonder and what do you notice? All right, so what I'm wondering and noticing is that it looks like that the positive amounts are the amount of money I would get, and the negative amounts are the money I would pay, which makes sense because if I do chores and get paid for them, I would get $30. If I babysit my cousin, hopefully they pay me and I get $45. But if I buy something, I don't get any money, okay? So these are the things that I wrote down that I noticed. That positive numbers looks like it's money received, okay? Negative numbers look like the money it cost me or money I had to pay out. And then the 0, the pet my dog. It doesn't cost you anything to pet your dog, nor do you get paid to pet your dog normally. So that's where the 0 came in. Okay, so that's kind of what I noticed on it. All right, on the next page, it's called the concession stand, okay? So again, it's giving you a chart and it's asking you to kind of figure out, and I already started this because I started recording last time and my phone rang. So I started again. So it says the manager of a concession stand keeps track of everything she does. So it's saying donuts, quantity negative 58, value $37.70, okay? That doesn't give me a whole bunch of information, but when I look down at straws, it's 3,000. It is negative $10.35. So what I'm getting from here is that the negative numbers, like negative 1038, is what it's going to cost me, okay? So the negative dollars here is what it's going to cost me. So if it's positive, that's the money I would make. If it's negative, it's what it's going to cost me. Now in this column, the negative quantity, okay, it looks to me like this is how many I would sell and this is how many I would buy. So it means like my overall donut count was minus 58. That means I sold 58 donuts. This is the money I got when I sold 58 donuts. I bought 3,000 straws, so it cost me this. So it looks like my negative quantity means bought and sold. Okay, so I bought would be positive, and what I sold would be negative. So it's two different things here. With your quantity, it's saying your donuts went down, your straws went up. Your hot dogs went down, your overall, what'd you call that word? I can't think of the word. How many you have total? Went down 39 hot dogs. Pizza went up 13. That means I must have bought some pizza, okay? So it's saying which items did she sell? So again, which items were negative in the quantity? So that would be where it's negative in quantity. So it looks to me like she sold donuts, because those were negative 58. She sold hot dogs because that was negative 39. She sold apples because that was negative 40. And she sold French fries. Let's put the French fries over here. So it looks like those are the things she sold. Okay? So looking at the donuts, it says, how can you, oops, I'm going to move that up so you can see it. How can you interpret negative 58? So negative 58 was right here, okay? I would interpret that as how many donuts she sold. Or if I want to look at it a little differently, how many donuts, out of all the total donuts, what did my stock of donuts went down? So oops, not dog. That's not what I want to write at all. So how much it went down, okay? I had a bunch of donuts. It went down 58 donuts because I sold 58 of them. Okay. The next question is saying, how can you interpret negative $10.35? Well, let's look at where that was. That was right here with the straws. Okay. So it says, how can I interpret that? Well, it looks like I received 3,000 straws. This is probably what I had to pay for them. Okay. So I would say that it cost $10.35 to buy 3,000 straws. Okay, so that's the money it cost me to get the straws. Question 4 says, on which item did she spend the most amount of money? Okay, and explain our reasoning. So which item did she spend the most amount of money on? Well, here's my money column, which was the biggest. It looks like she spent the most amount of money on pizza, okay? Because that was the smallest number. Or the one most farther to the left on the number line. Okay. It would be the farthest left. Remember, a number line goes, that means less than, greater than, on a number line. So if I just looked at, let's say that I just looked at the values like this, I can't really tell until I look at all of them. This looks like it's donuts sold. That's money made. Straws bought. Okay, so the positive negatives can mean different things at different times. Okay? All right, let's look at the next one because it's interpreting soft drinks. I think soft drinks, something like that. Vending machine drinks. All right, so this one says a vending machine in an office building sells bottled beverages. The machine keeps track of all charges and the number of bottles from sales and from machine refills and maintenance. This record shows the change for every 5-minute period over an hour. Okay, so what it's saying is the change, like if a bottle of whatever vending machine, if one bottle was sold, I'd be one less. That's what that -1 would mean. If I refilled the machine, that means I put 12 more into the machine. Okay, so this is pretty much what it's asking me. And it looks like from this time period that 4 more people or 4 more drinks were sold. Between this 5 minutes, 1 drink was sold. Okay, so that's kind of what it's telling me. All right, so what might positive numbers mean in this context? So it's telling me that this many were added to the machine. Okay, so the positive numbers would be the ones added. That would be when they refill the machine and how many were added. Okay. So when I'm looking at the positive number, like positive 12 and positive 24, so it looks like they added 12 bottles of whatever it is here. They sold, didn't sell on the zeros, and they added 24 more bottles here, okay? So the negative numbers are going to be what they sold or how many were bought, okay? So the negative would be how many left the vending machine. I'm going to say left as in sold. Okay, so it's a little hard to figure out until you look at the whole thing overall, where it's going down, up a bunch, and then down, 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 up a bunch, okay? All right, what would the 0 mean? So there's 2 zeros in here, from 8:35 to 8:39, and then from 8:40 to 8:40, that doesn't make any sense. I think that's supposed to be 8:44. 8:40 to 8:44, it said there was 0 change. That means no bottles were sold and no bottles were added, okay? So nothing was sold or added. It didn't change. The amount did not change. Okay, so it looks like they sold 2, didn't sell any, sold 6, somebody refilled the machine in 24, okay? All right, which numbers, positive or negative, result in fewer bottles in the machine? Okay, fewer being my key word. Does fewer sound like it would be more or less? My guess is it's less than, okay? So it's going to be the negative. That was all it was asking you, which number is positive or negative, okay? Left the machine, put in the machine, left the machine, left the machine, left the machine, okay? At what time, number 4 says, at what time was there the greatest change to the number of bottles? Well, look at this. Here you had 12, 4 left, 1 left. It's saying at what time frame was the greatest change, okay? The biggest number, positive or negative, okay? So the overall change looks like it's 24, okay? So I would say the biggest change was from 850 to 854. Okay, how did that change affect the number of bottles? It added 24 more bottles. To the vending machine. Okay. Now this next question says, at which time period between 8:05 to 8:09, that's this one, or 8:25 to 8:29, that's this one, where was there a greater change? Okay, think about that. It's asking for the change. It's not saying what was the fewest number, what was the most number. It said what changed the most. Now, if I think about this on a number line, I'm on pink again here. If this is 0 and this was 12, okay, we'll say that's 6. This would be -6. This would be -12. Okay, I don't need to put all the numbers in there. So if I look this way from 0 bottles to 12, the change was 12, right? If I go the other way, my change is still 12. Okay, it was 12 less, but the change was 12. This was 12 more, but the change was still 12. So it's exactly the same. They are the same. This went up 12, this went down 12. It still changed 12, okay? That's getting you ready to do absolute value, which is gonna be our next lesson, okay? What is the distance from 0? All right, and then the last question on here, so the machine must be emptied to be serviced. If there are 40 bottles in the machine when it's to be serviced, what number will go in the second column? So it's saying, okay, I don't even know how many bottles were in any of these columns. All I know is that the change was 1. 1 was taken away, 12 were added. 4 were taken away, 1 was taken away. So it's saying, okay, when it needed to be serviced, there were 40 bottles total. How many need to get it to 0? That would be -40 bottles, okay? So -40 would go in here because if I have 40 and I want the machine to be at 0, I've got to take away 40, okay? So what this whole lesson is doing is saying, okay, look at all the overall information and try to decipher what it means, okay? In the first one we did, and I'm just going to do a quick recap because it's kind of important that you understand that positive and negatives can mean different things for different situations. In this case, it was how many mine went down in stock, I sold, or how many I sold, or how many I bought. And this was how much money I had and how much money I had to pay. So those are two different things for positive and negatives. On this one, same thing. If I do something, I get paid for it, I get the amount, that's the amount I get. If I have to buy something, it's the amount I had to pay. So that's either positive was what you got, negative is what you paid. On this one, it's saying how many were taken out of the machine or how many were put into the machine. So it totally depends on the situation. You just got to kind of look at the overall thing. Even when the first time I did this, I looked at the overall graph or table, and then I figured out what it was asking me. Okay, I wanted to figure out first, before I did any of this, what did the positive mean? What did the negative mean in regards to the question about the vending machine? Okay, so that's what these questions are going to ask you on the homework is what do the positive and negatives mean? Explain them to me. Okay, all right. So this one, it says that, and we're just going to go through this kind of quickly. Priya, Mai, and Lynn, they like those names, went to a cafeteria on the weekend. They shared their bill came to $25. Each student gave the server $10 bill. The server took the $30 and brought back 5 $1 bills. Each student took $1 back, leaving the rest $2 for the server, okay? As she walked away from the cafe, Lynn thought, wait, that doesn't make sense. Since I put in 10 and got back 1, I ended up paying 9. So did Maya and Priya. Together, we paid 27, then left the tip. That makes 29, and yet we gave the waiter 30. Where did the extra $1 go? I want you to think about this problem. I've done this type of problem before. I want you to think about the situation about Lynn's question. Do you agree that the numbers don't add up properly? And explain. We're going to do this tomorrow, okay? I really want you to try it. They're kind of fun problems to try and figure out. So I kind of want you to try this by yourself, and then we'll talk about this one tomorrow, okay? Or the next lesson, which won't be tomorrow, to be on every other day, so Thursday. All right, and then here's your summary, just kind of giving you an overall about what everything means, the positive and negatives. All right? Have a fabulous day. I miss you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.